All right, so we are on the third night of Chanukah. I didn't get any gifts or something, so I looked under my menorah, I couldn't find anything. Okay. That's not a gift, that's a mitzvah. So I didn't ask you. So an old joke says about an inspector, a supervisor on the school that came to check from the how do you call it, Department of Education, in Israel, but comes to check the schools. So he entered one of the classes there, and he's asking David, that's a David, right? He asked him, tell me, young lad, who broke the luchot? Who brought the luchot? So the kid says, not me. For sure, it was not me. Wasn't me. So the supervisor or whatever it was went to the teacher and said to him, what do you have to say about this? So the teacher immediately, in a very assertive way, said, if David tell you it was not him, so it's not him. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. So the inspector goes like this. Okay, my goodness, he goes from this classroom. He goes, Yalla, he'll go straight into the principal's house immediately, and he tells him exactly what happens. So the astonished principal says immediately, takes his checkbook, and says, just tell me how much was it, I'll pay for it. Right? So, why is that? Because to most of us, if you ask us what's Chanukah, I'm going to tell you Chag HaOr, the holiday of lights. And that's, by the way, how it's called in America, the holiday of lights, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, also in Israel, it's losing, as years go by, it loses a lot from its meaning. And this is really what Chanukah is all about. Lighting the menorah, eating donuts, right? Putting on a couple of extra pounds, not shaving the beard over there. Very unhappy with you. And it's a very nice holiday, very demanding holiday, easygoing kind of a thing. One of those holidays that you always hear from people, that's how a Jewish holiday should be. I don't have to stop going to work, doesn't create any conflicts, I'll do what I want. However, the Zohar tells us there's this Chag, or should I say light Chag, like diet Chag, right? Really has tremendous secrets in it. And today I want to talk to you about what is called the Chanaya. Chanaya means lachanot, means to park, to be stationed, and so on and so forth. So the name of the Chag is Chanukah, right? Chanukah. If we do divide it, it's going to be Chanu. They settled in one place, and Chafei on the other side. And according to Chazal, this is basically for the settlement that we do every year around Chafei B'Chislev, and which is Chanukah. Okay, we pause for a second or something there. The Torah hints us already in Parashat Masa'ei. And the Torah tells us in Parashat Masa'ei, when it talks about the 42 journeys that they did in the desert. They went from here they went there, from there they went there. Bnei Israel did it like this. And the Torah, and every time it says, Vayis'u vayachnu, Vayis'u vayachnu, Vayis'u misukot vayachnu, and so on and so forth. However, on the 25th journey, right, Chafei in Gemara is 25th, right? It says, Vayis'u mimitka vayachnu b'chashmona. So that chanaya, that parking, that place that we reached over there, according to the Torah Asod, according to Kabbalah, a person needs to do himself in his pnimiyut, internally as well. And the best time to do so is during this time, Chanukah. It's the best time that you need to slow down. You move too fast, like Billy Joel. There's a song like this, right? So people are fighting all their lives. I mean, we are fighting. We are having a battle all the time. About the battle of life, we're trying to survive the turmoils of life, and life throws us this way and throws us that way, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you get sick, sometimes you get, you get miserable, if you suffer pain, and so on and so forth. Every morning you get up to this jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Right? You go to work. I mean, this is really the way to live. This is really what it's all about. Get up, to this economy that is crazy, so we can make a parnasa. But think about it. We have kids, and then we have to take a nanny, and we have to go to work to get a job so we can pay for the nanny to watch over our kids. We don't spend any time with our kids, bichlal. Maybe if we could kind of, change our lifestyle, we can live less lavishly and actually spend more time with what's important to us. Hopefully it's our kids. To me at least, it seems always that we're trying to run away from the kids. The first chance you have is to throw them to a kindergarten or daycare. After that, you don't want to hear them to go to school. And you find the school with the longest day. I mean, you forgot how was it for you for school? People thought that I'm crazy. Sometimes I used to beg my kids, stay home, I'll give you a note, stay home. Let's stay home today. You and I will stay home today. We'll go to the city, we'll have some fun. At the time I used to eat meat, let's go have some corned beef sandwich, go hang around. No, they always want to go to school. So what's the matter with you guys? You're not normal. It's my kids, I remember how I was a kid. I wish my father would have told me that, why don't you stay home today? We'll spend some time together. I'm serious. As a matter of fact, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's pretty smart. She just told me, yeah, sure, why not? So she stayed home. She still remembers that we took her to the city. We went to Central Park. We bought her some earring, and then she wanted to go to Barnes because she's a bookworm. So I went to Barnes and Nobles. I bought her like 5 books or something. She was thrilled. She was so happy. It was. She said to me, it was the best day of my life. But well, just think about it. That's what we do. It's like life is a grind. It wears you out. We run all the time, always. You're in a rush to come to shul. Running to shul. We seem to be always late. Then you run for your whatever it is, to your car. You're stuck in traffic. You come back. You run to work. You run from work. Every time you're running. And I think this also has to do with why we are so shallow, because we never had the time to stop and actually think. We don't think anymore. Nobody wants to think about the meaning of life, or what is this all about, and so on. So we're always running. Did you ever bother, Bichlal, to ask yourself, why am I running? Why do I have to live like this? Did you ever? No one. Never. And if this question kind of, tries to come out like a little worm, you're going to make sure you're going to put a dynamite inside and blow it to smithereens. You don't want to ask yourself those questions. Why do you have to be a part of the rat race? Why do we have to be a part of this? Why do we have to live life like that? So Chanukah comes and symbolizes that moment in which we stop and we actually contemplate. We take a look. We stop a little bit. And as we'd say, who says this? I think Lubavitch says that. One of those quasi Chassidut. Kol od she'aner dolek efshar letaken. As long as the light is on, the candle is on, you can still fix, right? Kol od she'aner dolek efshar letaken. And this is, by the way, it's Rabbi Israel Misalant, and it became a very, he says, but that's really one of those slogans that they always used to use. Okay, so fine. So as long as the candle is lit, we can fix. Good. So I'm going to ask you another second question. To fix what? To fix what? What should I look at? You tell me sit down and look at it. So what should I look at? Put a mirror in front of us and say, what should I look at? So to the answer to this question we find in the candle. The soul of it is in the candle. The candle which we light in Chanukah really is the kos, as the cup that we put the oil in, the kli, in which we put the shemen zayit lama'or, right? The olive oil that we put to lit the candle. However, the oil is not going to burn by itself. I need a wick. And what is that wick? What is that ptil? What is that wick? So the Rav Ashlag says, ptila come milishon psila. Ptil like pasil. Maze psila. What is pasul? Pasul means not good, right? Ma psila. So if you look at the ptila, the ptil, if you look at this, it's made out of cotton. It's made out of cotton. Then we roll it so tight until there's no air. That's why we roll it. My mother told me that when she was a kid in Turkey, her job was to get the candles ready, the ptil ready for Shabbat. Everybody has a task. Not like today, what's your task? To watch every possible YouTube until it's 2 minutes after Shabbat, right? So everybody had a task. Everybody had to do something. So her job, one of her jobs, was to make the candles. She says, I used to take the cotton, and it was going like this, and she used to make it, and that's why. So we press the air out of it, and therefore the kutna, the cotton, is not puffy, right? So as much as and that's the only way you can actually catch the fire, because if there's too much air inside, it will smolder. It's not going to burn. Just like, so it has to be pressed. Just like the matzah in Pesach is, if you're going to look at all the ingredients of the matzah, it's practically bread. The matzah is practically bread. However, it's not bread that rose, right? It didn't put itself all the other luxuries that we don't need. The same thing with the ptila. So in order to understand this hint, so we have to speak a little bit about the tikkun of the person according to the Kabbalah. It says Yetzer Lev Adam Ra Min Ne'orav. Of course, on that pasuk itself, there's so much you could actually analyze and expand on just on that. However, this is not necessarily a pessimistic state or pessimistic verse on the state of a person. I mean, Christianity made a whole religion out of that, right? You're not entitled, you're not capable of doing anything good, everything is bad, so therefore you can only put a couple of dollars in the pushka for, the guy on the cross, and I'll call you a beseder, right? But that's not really what it means, right? It rather comes to describe a certain reality. If we're going to take, and we spoke about it many times, if we take the initials of Ra, is Ratzon Atzmi, being selfish. Ra, Ratzon Atzmi, right? Self will, everything is directed to me, so therefore selfishness. And the Adam, the person, according to Kabbalah, is put together, is created from this machshava, right? Token, and itaskut be'atzmo, you're always dealing with yourself. And that is the basic. This is the basic composure that we are made of. I mean, and if you look at the developments of the person, right? We talked about it as a baby is completely self-centered. That's what you need. If a baby, imagine the baby, babies were not like this, right? So the mother is tired, she's sleeping, and the baby is hungry, and he said, I'm hungry, but kabedet avicha ve'etimecha. I'm not going to wake my mom there again now. Let her sleep. Poor mommy. But the baby's going to die like that. The baby wants to eat, right? You can scream at the top of his lungs. Because that's what's in it. So in the beginning of that, we have to be very self-centered in the beginning of our lives. But the older you get, you have to change this, because again, there's something wrong with you if you're so self-centered and selfish when you are older. That was needed. It's not that it's bad. It's a reality. We had to have it. We had to have it because we needed to grow, develop. However, that is what is called the guf. The body needs. So why do you eat? Because the body needs. I'm hungry, man. I eat to maintain the body. So the body receives. However, there's another part to us as humans, and that is the superior to that. That's the spiritual, which we call the neshama, the soul. And in its essence, the neshama works on the other way, on the opposing direction, on the 180 of the body. So I mean, here we go. And if you want to create a real balance and functioning human being, you have to have two forces that would walk in equal amounts on both sides, so you can continue going straight. Otherwise, you're gonna topple over. So the body always wants to receive, and the neshama really wants to give. The body wants to receive, the neshama wants to give. The body wants materialistic thing, the neshama wants spiritual thing. Love, help others, and so on and so forth. Now, those opposing forces really come to play a major role in the story of Chanukah, of what we have in today. So the Maccabim, which are the Jews, right? These are people who belong to giving. The Jews always give. And for whatever cause that they will be in the world, they will give. Sometimes they're so dumb in their giving, they will even give to the enemies. But they will give. They always give. And, and they're supposed to work, to do the avodah, which is avodah ruchanit. And the peak of the avodah ruchanit, of the spiritual work, of course, comes to when we do the avodah in Bet HaMikdash. Only havdil, when you are, for example, here in Bet HaMidrash. Imagine that each and every one of you, this is a sanctuary, each and every one of you, when they learn Torah, is like a Kohen working in Bet HaMikdash. Most of us are not Kohanim. Even if you're all Kohanim, when do you have a chance to go to Bet HaMikdash? Never. Well, right here, working and toiling with the Torah, because that's the only thing that is left sacred to us, untouched. Nobody can touch the Torah. They took the mountain from us, with the temple and everything in it. They cannot touch our Torah. They can't. So this is a holy artifact, and you are Kohanim, and the deeper you go, is deeper you go into the chambers of holiness, into that. Now, of course, we always have to learn. We have to learn the Torah in all segments. You have to learn the pshat, the remes, the drush, and the sod. By the way, if you learn everything without the Kabbalah at the end, how do we call it? We call this pardes, right? Pshat, remes, drush, and sod. Pardes. If you take the sod, that's when you get perud, separation. You hold like this, he holds like that. Comes the Kabbalah and says, okay, it's all good. Let me just show you how. Of course, in a small amount, You need to have the cover of the pot is much smaller in capacity than the pot itself, right? So in that ratio. So when we have these are the Jews, and when we have the Greeks really, it's all about externalism. The Greek culture, which is all about externalism, right? The culture that we have today, and I spoke about it years ago. The culture that we have today is basically a result of the video culture, right? The MTV culture. What you have today is the MTV. And before that, and before that, and before that, it's all about the Greek culture, the external, the beautiful, the image, the idols that you could never reach. I mean, how many people are perfect as a statue of Venus, with an arm like this, which she's showing? She's like a commercial for razors for women, Who can which is kind of nothing. We're people, we're defective. All of us to a certain extent. That's the beauty of it. An artist usually would not make a deliberate defect because they will say, the art is no good, right? Or the eyes are not exactly level, the ears, one is higher than the other. That's art. In reality, nothing in your body is exactly symmetrical. Nothing. You know that one hand is usually longer than the other, one hand is bigger than the other, one leg is longer than the other, the ears are not all the same level, the eyes are not the same size. You make a picture like this, they're going to tell you, you don't know how to paint, I'm making a painting of a person that in reality is a little bit off-centered and call it defective. If I'll make him identical, they told me my painting is no good. Look how crazy we are. So that is, the Greeks are the beauty, the externalism, the philosophy, they're talking for no purpose and no reason whatsoever, and which is a part of me as well. It's all these are parts of me. Now, there is a part inside of us that wants to give, that desires to give, that desires to be spiritual, that wants to volunteer, that wants to do the right thing, and so on and so forth, to believe without having any needs to have proofs and show me and prove it to me and so on and so forth. A person said to me, I don't like to come to your lectures so much because I want to ask questions all the time. I said, that's very good that you want to ask questions. But the question is, do you want to hear the answers? So before you be able to ask a question, you need to be able to listen first. Because if you did not work yourself out to listen to what I have to tell you, why do you expect for me to do something you're not expecting from yourself? You expect for me to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to me. That's not going to work. So, when we talk about those things, there's a part of me that wants to be a tzaddik, to be a righteous person, to really be emunah and so on and so forth, without asking the question, so what do I get out of this? Do I get the red carpet in Shamayim? Does it give me a ticket out of Gehenna? Being very rational of why should I get this? Determinant, rational, kind of Ayn Rand type of a thing, I don't like her. So it's a small part of me that wants to become that, but the majority of me, is body, physical. But pay attention, the small part that goes away from me, that gets the whole thing going, it's this small, it's tiny, the neshama. But take it out, the whole body falls apart. And we refuse to do that. We all want to go to the gym to look good, to wear muscles, to look fit. People do waxing in the stomach, all these kind of crazy things people do nowadays. What does a man need to wax himself? What do you be? So, but did you ever want to go to a spiritual gym? And that's the problem. Especially, it becomes very, very acute in Judaism, because Judaism by itself is an Eastern religion that was fit into a Western society. And in the West, that's what it is. We as Jews, that's why we do so well in India, because it's Eastern. We need to go back to our roots, our Jewish Eastern roots, not Indian, right? Jewish Eastern roots. We need to go back to what Judaism is, to realize what things are about. And to think that, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. That's why the only place you can really be yourself is right here in Yeshiva, and between Bet HaMidrash, because we don't care how you look here. We don't care if you have a small nose, a big nose, if you have 14-inch arms, or you have a 5-inch arms. We don't care about those things. Or 12, or 18, right? We don't care about those things. Who cares what? We care about the purity of your thinking, of the ability to penetrate and go through. I don't understand why nobody will, people like waiting, lining outside, please let me in. That's what we lose Jews. That's what we lose our people. And this is always a war against few against many. Few against many. Not only, and don't think that today the war is any different than it was in the time of the Greeks, because the percentage of Torah observant Jews in the vast Jewish nation, which is not so vast, right? It's more like a pond. But I'm talking about what? Like at best, 20%. So not only we have to fight the whole entire world, we have to deal with like 80% of the Jews that not only they don't know, they don't want to know. And don't think that you are immune to that. Those ideas, those conflicts will penetrate inside of you as well, and they will bite any good piece of territory that you have inside yourself. So the question is, of course, who's going to win this war? It's going to be a miracle. Is it going to be a miracle? Who's going to win this war? So the answer is to the first one, who's going to win the war, is very simple. Whoever you're going to feed more. Whoever you're going to feed more. In other words, according to the Kabbalah, a person has a free choice to prefer inside of him this part over the other part. You have the choice. And I told you, by the way, it's not only the Kabbalah, the Rambam talks about it also. In other words, the claim that we were born like this, right? And that's why I don't have any choice is a wrong claim. We were both born with those two opposing forces inside of us, so we could actually be free to choose what we want. You know, we can choose a reality that is full of ego and self-centered. It's also called choshech, darkness. Or I could look for a reality of giving. That's called or. Is that going to be a miracle to us individually? Well, that's exactly the power of Chanukah. And we say, we said it in Elul, right? The kiruah biyoto karov. Call Hashem when He's close by. Call Hashem when He's close by. Of course, there's always the famous memra, right? Karov Hashem lekol kiroav, lekol asher yikru be'emet. Don't just call Hashem. Truthfully, He's very close to you if you really want it, not to pay lip service. But even when I call Him when He's near, not when He's far. Imagine it's like this. You have somebody that you really, really love. But you spend time with him, you never said to him, you know, I really love you. It's really important, my relationship with you. You really mean a lot to me. But when he goes to the other side, he's on the plane, you know, he's waving to you from the from the runway. You said to him, yeah, I love you. You really. He cannot hear you. Why did you tell him that he was near you? Why? So Chazal tells us in that manner that there are times, specific time, that our kesher, our connection with the light, with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, is easier, is more simple than other days. And that is, by the way, the secret of Shabbat and Chagim. It's very intimate, the connection, especially on Shabbat. You cannot tell me that you believe in God if you don't keep Shabbat. I think what you're saying that is just an excuse for you to say, it's okay for me to do what I want to do, but I believe in God. Because you know what you're doing is wrong. You can't believe in God and be Mechalel Shabbat. You can't. It's like Lema Davar Domeh. And we know, on Atam Shel Talmidei Chachamim, Mi Shabbat Le Shabbat. Right? So the connection of a husband and wife on Shabbat, you see, it gets a very special meaning here as well. Because whatever happens in Shamayim happens to us here as well. So imagine a person will tell his wife, will pick up the phone, right? And he said to her, hello, honey, I love you. I love you so much. And she says, where are you, dear? He says, yeah, I'm here with the mistress. You're going to persuade her that you love her? You're gonna come home. She's gonna wait for you with a katana, like a samurai with a dynamite, or poisoning your coffee, and rightfully so.
Your key won't work, actually.
It would work. The key would work, so you can come in and she can clobber you over the head. You tell me you believe in God, but you don't keep His Shabbat? It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. So the Chaniyah, that station in Chanukah, is basically an ability to contemplate on these two parts inside of me, to really take an inventory into the account of where am I standing. In other words, I need to take like the ptil, to take the extra air that was pumped into me, right, during time. And we're going to take this extra air. Remember the ptil that we said, the wicks. So we're going to take it from our habits. Our habits. Our habits are very bad. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Ner leraglai dvarecha ve'or lenetivati. The candle is to my feet, and your word, right, are light for my path. In other words, I walk only when you light me. In other words, the light I need to really put into my legs. Hergel mishum regel. I keep on walking on the same path. So I need to put the light into my habits. The actions that I do all the time. The things that I do without even paying attention. When I have a free time, what do? How do you have free time? I don't have free time. How do you have free time? But what do? Those little things that you do. For example, it's a habit to sit down on Sunday and to watch football. That's bringing darkness. Put light into your thing. Now, also the habits is I need to bring the light into my everyday. Into my everyday to draw the. And now you might understand when we talk about Shabbat. And we say Shabbat is really the center of the week, not the end of the week, the center of the week. Because Shabbat, that coming Shabbat, and today, let's say it's Tuesday, argument's sake, right? So until Tuesday, I enjoyed the light from the past Shabbat. From Wednesday, I'm enjoying the light for the last Shabbat, for the next Shabbat. So I'm drawing, so I need to take this light and draw it into my life. And bring this light into my life. The light, the holiness of Shabbat into my life. The light of the Chagim. Remember I told you we have Rosh Hashanah, we have Pesach, we have Chanukah in the middle. That is exactly the reason. Especially in the darkest days, to have the spiritual light so I won't feel lost. So I know what to do. So I won't give up. So I'll be able to come to freedom. Of my Yetziat Mitzrayim. Of getting rid now completely of all this tum'ah that is inside of me. So I could get the Torah on Shavuot. So after I get the Torah on Shavuot, so I can come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Rosh Hashanah again. And that is the cycle. How do you think you're going to be able to stand to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Rosh Hashanah, this coming Rosh Hashanah, if you haven't learned Torah, if you haven't gotten rid of your tum'ah, if you're still in darkness? How are you going to come? Well, by all means, not watching the Jets and Giants. They're pretty dark nowadays anyway. That's what we need to do. In other words, my life going in a certain cycle, like an autopilot. Right? I never break this. I'm never asking why am I running? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I never check myself. I never examine myself. I never weigh myself. So here comes the candle. And the candle's supposed to light the darkest most places in me. Just like the symbolism of the candle on Shabbat. And on Shabbat is a double candle. Excuse me, Shabbat is a double candle. And that's why we light the candle of Havdalah. It has to be like a wick together, so we're going to be a lot of light. And that's the candle that we check in Pesach, in the Chorim and Sdakim, in all the cracks, for all the crumbs of arrogance, of chametz, of arrogance inside of us, of self-importance, of kavod inside of us, in the cracks, in all the crudies, in all those places. With the candle I'm doing it. That's why we do the candle. So you see, the candle is a candle, but it symbolizes so much more than just a candle. And, for example, how many times you said to yourself, now especially when you have like, certain, how do you call them, sites that you can watch. Let's say there's a TV series. I don't know, it runs like seven seasons, right? Not followed. Let's say something has seven years it's running, 7 seasons, 7 years, whatever it's running. And every season has like 20 episodes in it. Oh, I sit down in front of my thing. Season 1, episode, I'm sorry, there's pilot here, pilot. Then I'm going to watch season 1, episode 1, season 1, episode 2, season 1, episode 3, and so, and episode 7, season 7, episode 20 something. You know how much time you spent? You know what you could have accomplished with that? You could have accomplished so much. How many times you said to yourself, I'm going to stop watching this because it's really nonsense. They really, forget about the brainwashing that goes through this thing. But I'm going to really stop doing that. How many times you even swear yourself to become a better person, a better spouse? How many times you swear to yourself, I'm going to get up to minyan every single day? How many times you said that? How many times you said to yourself, I'm going to come to Shabbat on tranquilo mode. I'm not going to come to Shabbat like, I got 18 more minutes until sunset. How many times you said that? These are the habits. How many times you're going to say, well, you and I, you're still young. But I'm sure if you ask your parents, ask your fathers, how many times they said to themselves, you know what, I'm really going to try to be a better father. How many times? How many times you say, I'm going to be less selfish? And so on and so on and so forth. So the Kabbalah comes and recommends to the person not to fight against those bad qualities inside of him, but to and not to open another front, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose. The Kabbalah said something else, because, the reason is very simple. It's overwhelming you. It's overwhelming you as it is, so you're going to start another front. You're gonna lose. It's nothing to do. So how do you get rid of the darkness? It's very simple. You bring in the light. Once you put in the light, and I keep on saying that the kid song, the Israeli kid song, Banu choshech legaresh beyadenu or vayesh. We came to scare away darkness. Today they don't write Israeli songs like this. You know the song? You guys don't know the song? Banu choshech legaresh beyadenu or vayesh. In our hands, light and fire. Not only fire, light and fire. Kol echad hu or katan. Each one is a small light. Vekulanu or eitan. And we are all very solid light. You want to put darkness you want to remove darkness from your life? It's not a problem. Turn on the light. Turn on the light. There's no more dark. Even if it's completely dark, you turn on one match here, you're going to see fantasies. It's amazing. You could see something. We'll make this experiment later. Now, so therefore, instead of coming to complaints to myself, I'm a loser, that's the resolutions that everybody makes, at the end of the year, I'll make another resolution, I broke it. We're not talking about resolution. This is not our way. This is not our way, because then you're going to come to complaining, you're going to start complaining about yourself, you're going to start feeling bad about yourself, and so on and so forth. So what you're going to do is try to fulfill your thoughts. Fill your thoughts with something positive. For example, the way you talk. You can talk bad, you can talk good. Talk good. You see something, let's say somebody really, there's a person, he's really annoying the whatever out of you. I mean, he's like those, when people go like this on the wall, like this. He's like, every time you see him. So we all know what you feel about this person, but now try to find something good about this person. You're not doing this for him to like you. You're training yourself to see the good in the situation, because things will come to you your way, in life, and they're not going to be always what you think is good, because you think it's going to be bad, and they are bad. But you need to be able to overcome it. You need to find what's good about it, and then just turn it around to make it good. In other words, there's no Yeush, like Rav Nachman in Breslov says, En Yeush ba'olam. There's no reason to give up. No reason to give up. Always need to find what's good and then turn it around. For example, if I'm going to, let's say, do Bikur Cholim once a week, and then once a week I'm going to do Tomchei Shabbos, and then maybe I'm going to go to Hatzalah. Guess what? I don't have time to watch the stupid TV shows. I'm just going to make myself more productive. Or, for example, I never finished my college degree. Of course, you're never going to finish it in 3 lifetimes if you continue what you're doing. Sit down, start taking one course at a time. Finish it. Take it, no problem. Years go by, and you still, I could have, should have, would have, but you never will, because you keep on doing what you're doing, which is absolutely nothing, wasting your time. And in wasted time, there's darkness, and darkness will overwhelm you. How many times are you going to say, I'm going to finish the Shas, you haven't done? You know what? Sit down. It's difficult. I know it's difficult. But sit here, learn for an hour a day. Instead of going at home. Let's say you finish here at 9 o'clock, right? So instead of davening Arvit and then going home, what are you going to do at home? Right? You're going to check your telephone, going to check your... Say, you know what? I'm staying here for an hour. I'm staying here until 10 o'clock. And then you finish Masechet Ketubot that we're doing. Daf after daf, page after page, page after page. Hey, Yosef, what page are we in Ketubos? Lamed Amud Bet. 30 pages. I mean, it looked to me like we just started it yesterday. When did we start it?
I think it's Rosh Hashanah. Last Rosh Hashanah, so a year.
Last Rosh Hashanah, a year.
Yeah.
A year. You're going to tell me why? Only 30 pages a year? Yeah, you know what? 30 pages more in this year than we did. There's nothing wrong with it. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. 30 pages more than if you would sit at home and watch season 15 of NCSY, I don't know, the Guadalajara, Or what's the other one? They have something. How do you call this? CSI Puerto Rico. Yeah. CSI Siberia. Who drank the vodka or something like that, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Just stay and do it. Just stay and do it. And why is that? Because if you're going to look at yourself as a well, like a well that doesn't have water in it, sooner or later it's going to be filled with critters and all kind of like stuff in it, and snakes and scorpions, just like they drop you also inside. However, if you're going to fill up with water, then no critters are going to go in. In other words, when you are dealing with good, there's never going to be room for the bad inside of you. Not in you and not in your life. When you leave something unattended, as I always said, if you don't make decisions, somebody will make the decisions for you, and not necessarily that the decisions that you're going to like are going to be good for you. And the decisions that you make in your life need to be good. Don't wait for somebody else to make decisions for you. Don't be such a wimp. Why you do this? So you can blame somebody else. Make good decisions. Choose always good. Even if it's paying less, it's always going to be good. Listen, you could have been buddies with what's his name? We said before. What's his name? Pablo Escobar, right? I don't know. Can you snitch for me? Yes, fine. I'll snitch for you. Here's $1 million. But look what happened to all these chevra and all these people like him. They had their run for fame and glory, but they're all dead. What decisions are you making up? That's a secret of Chanukah. So this is the secret of the Petilah of Chanukah. Chanukah is a very good time, very specific, but it's a very good time to really press the cotton, press the wick, to take the air out of unnecessary volume in order to really be able to grab a good fire, to get rid of your desire for respect and honor, to get rid of your bloated ego. It is a great time to get rid of bad habits, addictive habits, to really put more life into more light into your life, into your actions. And that's why we should always pray that our petilah, that our wick is going to be very, very thin, and it's very, very long, and it's going to be focused on the purpose of life, which is really, clean from any thorns. I think it's going to be focused, clean. Then and only then I can have great light that is going to share by many when I make myself into the appropriate vessel with the light of the Torah inside of me. Only then. So this is a good window of opportunity in the spiritual matter for you to really make a huge transformation in your life. Have a Chag Sameach and Chag Urim Sameach.